I'm here, Sami Serdar from ICYF, coordinator of the YBH programs, an economic empowerment initiative of the ICYF we are taking care. We have started this program at the last day of the 2020, which is 30th of December, together with Ms. Hazel. We have started, and since then we are conducting this program every week, Thursdays at 3 o'clock. We were hosting co-coach from Malaysia, Mr. Muhammad Rashid. We were hosting Pakwitia from Pakistan, Mr. Haidar Wasim. We were hosting Mustafa Dumbia E-Water from Gambia. We were hosting Minhaz. I'm seeing some of them here participating, being with us together here. Thank you for Minhaz as well as Rashid. Inshallah, we will give you a stage at the end of the program for to give your advices to the youth for to start their startup journey, inshallah. We host also Plaxus, Mr. Batuhan from Turkey, as well as we host from Indonesia startup called Devisri Grace Stephanie. As well as we have hosted last week Spectrum Media from Bangladesh, Rifti Ali. And today we are with Mr. Yousef, his startup called Torever. Inshallah, this will be our last session in this series. We hope to see, inshallah, all of you in some other different sessions, some other than this format, inshallah. I just would like to give you a brief to you about Mr. Yousef and his startup. Mr. Yousef Kabbara is an entrepreneur, a computer engineer, a manager, passionate about the digital transformation, looking at the world through numbers and processes. He has 12 years of experience working on projects, startups, and delivering training to clients from different industries in 6 countries. He worked in the tramway project as a project engineer in Samsun city in Turkey. He was responsible for all project phases from planning to product selection, implementation to training, project closure to the maintenance. He has skills and expertise on business development, digital transformation, product management, entrepreneurship, computer engineering, network, and security. He has his startup called Torever. Briefly, very short, Torever helps travelers to plan their trip in very few clicks. This is his motto. Very few clicks. You can travel. You can plan your travel trips within very few clicks. Inshallah, we will be hearing from him the detail during his presentation. From ideation to the idea validation, app development to the business development, he was the solo partner of his startup. He has been in all levels of his startup. He won 3 entrepreneurship awards and also joined 1 international competition. He has joined many boot camps, conferences, and competition with his startups. Achievement I can list is in 2018, he won 3rd prize in Yousef competition in Syrian entrepreneurs in Beirut, Lebanon. As well as he was among the winners in the Startup Roadshow in 2018 in Amsterdam, Netherlands. As well as he was at 2019, he was selected, his startup selected top 20 startups, over 10,000 startup projects in Big Bang startup competition in Istanbul, Turkey. As well as in 2019 again, Torever selected among 15 best Turkish startup in Teknofest Takeoff 2019, which is conducted in Istanbul, Turkey. And also he was sponsored to visit San Francisco together with the Takeoff team. He got his diploma at 2020 from Damascus University, Syria, on computer network. as well as he got his higher national diploma in 2011 at edX London in UK on business information technology, as well as he obtained his Bachelor of Science degree at 2013 in the University of Greenwich in London, as well on business information technology. His native language is Arabic, and he speaks fluently English and Turkish in a professional level. And also he has attended various training and also plenty of the certificate he's holding. And I don't want to take much of your times and his time. I would like to give stage to the Mr. Yousef Kabbara to present his startup. Now stage is with Mr. Yousef Kabbara, and we are with Torever now. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Sami. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you everyone for joining this session. And I would like to thank ICYF to all the efforts that they are making and made for entrepreneurship and like in the region and for the Islamic world. It's actually like a pleasure and privilege to be here among the other entrepreneurs who had decisions before now. Yeah, so like I can't be more grateful about having this opportunity. Yeah, so Mr. Sami just explained a lot about my let's say like CV or like my history, things that I did, things that I studied or like that I'm interested in. Yeah, so I usually like I don't like to have like these actually long presentations with like without with just like talking or something. And I'm so sorry that like it's like the presentations that I prepared is a little bit like let's say like not so complete. So I have two presentations actually, one for myself and the other one is for my startup. So we can go through the presentations. Of course, like for my own presentation, Mr. Sami just like I think include everything about it, so we can just like just pass through it and then move to the startup presentation. I would like to like to have it more interactive kind of presentation. So I will do my best to just minimize the things that I want to explain, and then if you have anything to work or like to ask, I will be very happy and glad to answer your questions. So now I will start sharing my own presentation. Okay. So this is my own presentation. As Mr. Sami explained, I'm a computer engineer, entrepreneur, and product manager. And like I'm into this section, like the IT section, for about 12 years now. I like to work with like number and processes. I like everything to be like systemized and work as a system. So this is like a mission for me. Every time, like every place I work in, I like to have it this way. For like as a skills, I have like a little bit like inch in depth and mile in width, let's say, inventory. So I mainly I work as a computer engineer in network and security section, but I also like to be working in like automation, business development, and other kind of sections. My startup is named Torever, and I will explain you a lot more about Torever like in the next presentation, but yeah, so I will not explain about that now. As an achievements with Torever or like with startups, I've been in Yousef, which is like a startup competition only for Syrians. I would like to thank Yousef Corporation for this. Like they are also having a lot of efforts in this sector. And then like in Technofest Takeoff, some of the friends are here, as Mr. Sam mentioned. I want also like to send my greetings to everyone participated there, from like the Turkey Technology Vakfı to all the other participants and organizers. And then to Big Bang. Big Bang is also like very huge experience for me. It's like a something called Istanbul Technical University Çekirdek, which is like the incubator. And I highly recommend people like from outside Turkey to check this incubator and also like apply if you have startups, because like huge experience that you can have and a huge network and support here in Turkey. By the way, like I didn't mention, I'm not in Turkey originally. I'm from Syria, but living here in Turkey for about 7 years. And I'm very actually, I consider myself like lucky to be here and lucky to be in the places and like corporations that I've been able to make throughout my journey. I worked in one of the Turkish cities for a tramway project, and then as an education, as Mr. Sami said, I have a bachelor degree from University of Greenwich, UK. I speak 3 languages. I'm trying to learn more, and yeah, I had some trainings and so on. And like for contact, let me mention that from now you can like search me up on LinkedIn, and contact me if you feel that you have anything in common or anything that you need to discuss with me. Let me move on to, if no one have a question or something, let me move on to the presentation of my startup, Torever. Okay. So, like Torever, it's like travel forever. This is where the name came from. And with a slogan is your travel buddy. I can explain a little bit about the story of Torever, like how did I came up with this idea. As I mentioned, I moved because of the war. I moved from Syria to Turkey, and here I was working for so many years with foreigners coming visiting Turkey. Even I was providing them with other services, not tourism, but I was providing training. But they were always like asking me what to do, where to go, and how to do that, especially with the language barrier here in Turkey. So I started to think about how can I, and this is like actually how I approach everything in life. So how can I automate this problem? How can I find the solution? And this solution should be systematic without human interfering, and help these people. So I came up with Torever. With Torever, actually, it came like it just passed through so many stages, and then it became to this like the latest version, let's say. So I explained the story with Eve. So Eve loves to travel, and yes, there's a ton of websites. So this is like people say, there's a lot of websites, a lot of information. So what are you providing, like as a travel, let's say, guide, if we call it? So yes, there's a lot of like tons of websites and blogs, and this is actually part of the problem, because then when you come to the planning of your trip, you have so much confusion of what to do and where to look in, right? You have so many websites, and it's taking so much time if you want to do it yourself. So this is the problem that Eve was having. It's taking so much time and so much effort to do the planning trip. And then with Torever, it's just like few clicks, and now I will explain how it's happening to get to the solution. So if we talk about numbers, like worldwide, the travelers number are increasing like as a trend, and also like self-guided trips is also like being a trend for travel, especially in this like time of period that we are living in. So as you can see, like the number has been increased to 1.4 billion travelers in 2018. Now we are talking pre-corona for sure, and then where it was like only 25 millions in 1095. So you can tell how much like people are getting into this. This is like becoming part of the lifestyle of people nowadays. Okay, so how Torever helps these travelers? Actually, Torever dynamically generates personalized trip plans in no time. What do we mean here is, with Torever, you can just click on the city that you need to travel to, or just search for it, and then select some parameters like the dates of the trip, number of people, if you have children or not, and then depending on that, Torever will go ahead with its own algorithms and finds you a lot of daily trips that you can do in that specific city, depending on the number of people and these all parameters that you entered. And then once you arrive to that specific destination, you can, after you select your own trip that you like, as you can see here, like Torever will provide you with so many different trip plans and different categories. And you can also plan your own trip. And after you reach your own destination, you can just on daily basis check out the places that you need to visit, the reviews there, how to get there with a map. If there is a number you can call in there, do your reservations and everything. So this is the full experience of Torever. So it's not only a trip planner, actually. It starts with planning the trip in a very dynamic and fast way. And then it goes all the way with you during the trip, and then it keeps your memory and the places you visited even after you do this trip. So like actually this is something that, planning this application, and like this is actually something that I want to say here as an advice. This is something that we worked on, and this is something that I really encourage every entrepreneur to do it when they are working on their own startup. So don't find customers for your products, find the products for your customers, right? Actually, some people say they like say that it shouldn't be like this. So it's like the chicken egg problem. So should we just go check the market and then find the products, or find the products and then create the markets? So if you look at, for example, Steve Jobs, you will find that he was just creating new products and then making them a trend. So creating their own market. But like this is extreme situation, but I believe like in normal situations, you should just go and find the products for the already customers out there in the world. And this is what I mean by this, as I mentioned, if I'm not actually like in a place to provide advices, but if I may to, I would say, if you have a product that you are planning, don't wait till it's perfect. Yeah, just find what is the core feature that the people are looking for and provide it in the simplest way. Yeah, because otherwise, if you stay till it's perfect, then you may be working on the wrong product. And you may be, like after you finish everything, it's very hard for you to go back and then provide this like enhancements to the customers that you have. So the earliest you start with like in touch and in iterations with the customers, the more perfect actually product that you will come up with. Yeah. So as a validation, we started like even before I had the application. I started from the streets. I started with people. I set to one-on-one meetings with like travelers here in Istanbul and actually in Beirut. And I had only if we have programmers among us, they will know this term, the framework or like the wireframes of the application, right? I don't have functional application. I just show them screens and tell them that, like the process will be like this, 1, 2, 3. And then would you think, or do you think that you will use such an application? And what do you think is the most important feature for you? So because like once you get this feedback, then you will be able to say, I thought that people will buy my product because of feature A, but actually this is the least important feature for people. Yeah, and it will cost me, like the 2080 mechanism or like methodology. 20% of your work will give you the 80% of the reward on this work that you are doing. So you don't have to go like you need actually as an entrepreneur to find this 80, because as an entrepreneur usually we are starting with very very limited resources, right? So you need to find what exactly these 20% that will give you the 80% return, that will make 80% of your customers satisfied, and then go ahead and work on this 20%, right? You don't want to just waste your resources working on the 80% that no one cares about. So start early, start with your, we call it MVP, yeah, with your core feature, and then go ahead and validate it with people. So we launched the application, and then we had like 1,000 downloads. Of course, we used some ads and so on, and then we continued to get feedback from the people. And in that period of time, we were also like working on, like the development, and also like some startup competitions. So as I mentioned, and Mr. Sami mentioned as well, we have been in like Amsterdam, Netherlands, with this like startup roadshow, which created by, or like organized by Yousef, and then Technofest in Istanbul, Turkey, and then also like Big Bang in Istanbul, Turkey as well in 2019. Then, as you can tell, like at the beginning of 2018, this is, like the let's say, like, I don't want to call it the sad part of the story, but this is actually the reality show, which is, like, we had actually three main options that made us to, at the moment, temporarily stop working on the project on Torever. And I will talk about them like maybe in 5 minutes from now. But yeah, like one of them is having the COVID-19. So as a revenue stream for Torever, we were planning to sell tours and activities, and like after then full packages for people, statistics, because we will be, like as information, we will be like very centric hub that people or like travelers will be using along the way, from planning till like during the trip and after, and then ads for sure. Actually, like Trevor was focusing on tours and activity. There was a reason behind that, because it's like as a sector, it was the biggest third sector in the travel industry after like accommodation and flights, and it was also like the most memorable. It is actually not what's the most memorable part of the travel experience. So, like people, they may forget about the hotel they stayed in, and they may forget about like a lot of things, but then the activities, the experiences that they had during the trip, this is something that you don't easily forget about. So actually, like as a trend or features of Torever, we were talking about a personalized online and a mobile app. It was all like part of the trending or like trends of the travel industry, and we were planning to include more, like artificial intelligence to help people have more personalized experiences during the way, like in the future. As a competition, as I mentioned, there's a lot of competition, and actually this is part of the reason why we are currently not continuing with Torever, which is actually I can say that if you are following the travel world, then you will know about Google Trip Planner, the Airbnb experiences, and so many others. For example, like Lonely Planet, which is like maybe a lot of people heard about. Such a company had a very wide range of materials, like guides for so many cities, and it was held privately, but then it was like available. They made it available for partners using an API, like using a specific system integration. So many changes actually in the sector was happening, made us to not being able, like you need. This is also like if I may to an advice that I want to make, which is, as an entrepreneur, you need to know where you have to stop, right? It's like for us, for entrepreneurs, actually, we treat our projects as a babies, and we care about them, and we get like attached to them. You cannot let go, right? Because this is something that like if you are not so passionate about it, you don't start. You don't even start. But then after you start, you need to know when you stop. Otherwise, you will be losing your resources, your own time, time, other people's money as investors or other people, right? So at that point, like with coronavirus, with the competition change and the market change, we decided to stop and then do a refactoring to the application, not at this stage, maybe after Corona. We started, like, as I mentioned, as revenue resources, we will get money from the trips and tours. So we started integration. Like when you start, maybe this is also like something that as an entrepreneur, maybe you cannot directly provide the service that you want to provide. So usually as an advice, just go on, search for a bigger player, right, in the market, and try to sell their own product. If you don't have the product, it's yourself, right? So this is something that we have been working with affiliate programs, and we have been like having meetings with, like, for example, with Turkish Airlines, with Istanbul municipality, and it was like very great experience. And as I mentioned, like, actually, if you are coming from outside of Turkey and you are thinking about some project, the community here in Turkey, actually, if you are talking about like the government, the universities, the incubators, accelerator programs, they are very entrepreneur friendly, right? A very startup friendly community. Really, I'm talking about community. Like when you go to some company and tell them that, like, you are starting a new project, they care about you. There's a lot of initiatives in the community, in the government, in the universities, and the people here, it's like a youth community. So I really encourage people, like, with startups, if they are, like, looking for some big market to start from, maybe Turkey is a good option. I mentioned enough about myself, I think. Okay, so I will go ahead. We had a team of, like, actually it was more than four, and I was like very lucky with the team. The team was from different countries. Atif, for example, I will start from right. Atif Siddiqui is from Pakistan. I want to send my greetings. I can see also, like, we have a lot of participants also, like, from Pakistan. So all my greetings and appreciation to Pakistani people. And we have some, like, for example, Sally was working from Syria. Bushra was like here in Turkey, and Saif was also like in different country in Saudi Arabia. So like the whole team was working, and like I remember in one of the competition they asked me like, how are you working with team who is, like, in so many different countries? And I said, like, there is something called internet, so use it, right? Sometimes, like, in the place that you are in, there is, for example, you don't find the expertise that you are looking for, or it is a little bit like more expensive for you that you can afford. Go ahead, like, this, like, planet Earth is bigger than we think. You can just go to the internet and search for people and start it. Just some people may work with you just for the dream that you have, just for the passion that you have. So yeah, and this is what we had actually in the advisors part. Our advisors, like, they I really appreciate them. They provided us with so much support, right? Because, like, like, you are what is advisor? Like, you are some people, yeah, with tens of years of experience. They are giving you their experience for what? For nothing, right? They are just supporting you. So, like, I can't just thank them enough for their support. And yes, if you are, like, usually you are not experienced about everything in this life, so go ahead and find advisors for yourself. We have been looking for investment, and as an advice here, if you are looking for an investment, go low and go for short term. Don't go so high. And also, we have been, for example, like you need to provide enough motivation for the investors to invest in you. From them, like, investors usually look at the team first of all, look at the achievements on the ground, not the plans, and they want to see the sector. So you need to show them the sector that you are working in numbers, and also, like, as an investment. So we were talking to people like the number of, like, investment that happened in the same sector, the number of acquisitions that happened in the same sector, in the same area of region, and so this is how you need to approach with the investors. Okay, this is actually, I was here talking about, like, what we were gonna do with the investment that we were looking for. and like as a KPI. So usually investors want to see where and how and what is the achievement that you will get with the money that you are taking from. Yeah, and like as first, like last message, we were saying that we are thinking global from first day. Today, Torever supports many cities in Europe, Asia, and MENA, and support both like Arabic, English, and we will support other languages and languages after that. So yeah, so this is everything actually about Torever and about myself. Thank you so much again. Thank you, ICYF. Thank you for the participants. And thank you, Mr. Simon, for sure for organizing and facilitating this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yousef, for your detailed and comprehensive explanation about your startup and yourself and your journey. I'm sure there will be questions from the participants which they would like to raise to you to share some knowledge from your end. If there is a question, please raise your hand and we'll give you the stage for you to place your question. While they are thinking of, maybe I will give some words to our youth startup, which I can say is that Mr. Yousef is from Syria. Syria is in war since how many years? So many years, and now war is still ongoing, and there is a lot of how to say sad happenings there, and also families apart and killings one to another, Muslims, non-Muslims, it doesn't matter, and fights are ongoing. But whatever the circumstances you are in, it is not stopping if you are willing to succeed on something. You will push, and you will how to say show your eager. You will stick to your idea, and you will be passionate on what you are doing. Then you will definitely have a success. There is no excuses which you can bring up, saying that I am in Africa, I am in Asia, I am in here and there. It doesn't matter. Like what Mr. Yousef says, he has built a team from the various parts of the world. And he is managing the team. One is from Syria, one is from Saudi Arabia, one is from Pakistan, one is from Turkey. Then he is managing and bringing all the skills together and succeeding in developing something which is unique and which is how to say successful, which is getting the prizes from the startup competition. Not he himself, but he is saying he is bringing success with his startup. But the competition speaks wherever he is attending, he is getting the prizes, valuation and validation on his startups and his ideas. That's why I say also Mr. Mustafa was from Gambia, was here with the e-water. He is in Africa. When you say Africa, to speak water and Africa is something very weird, but Mr. Mustafa utilizes water in Africa to create a one startup which he will also evaluate the water, as well as he will resolve the one of the issue of the people there in Africa. It doesn't matter wherever you are, it doesn't matter whoever you are, as long as you have a solid idea and as long as you have a compassion and passion on what you are gonna do, then nothing can stop you. Should be. I mean, there should be nothing will stop you to succeed. That's why the startups, when I am with with the youth, startups are making us also young. I mean, making us excited because nowadays trend on the economy is changing. Uh, of course, classical economy, classical investment is there as a backbone of the world economy, but now trend is changing. Earlier, to make some factory, you need to have a land, you need to have an investment, you need to have a capital, you need to have a human resource, you need to have a lot of fundamental needs for you to create something valuable. But nowadays, with this new style of entrepreneurship, like startups, uh, getting together with the unique, innovative minds with their computers, you can create something which can't be achieved with the classical model of the business. That's why I'm very sure and I firmly believe that in the OIC geography, even in Afghanistan, we will be attending an Afghanistan, inshallah, entrepreneurship day at Tuesday together with Mr. Taha, my president, initiation of the Afghanistan entrepreneurship ecosystem kind. It doesn't matter, it is Afghanistan, it is Syria, it is Africa, it is wherever it is, as long as you are really come up with a solution and build a team believing as much as you are, then you can create something valuable and you can get a fund and you can have a investment on it. That's why uh, most of the OIC geography, OIC countries, we are not developed nations. Developed nations are invested a lot in this ecosystem, startup and entrepreneurship ecosystem, and they are coming up with the all innovative solutions, and we are becoming how to say, consumers, consuming individuals of their innovative creations. What I can say is that OIC world, OIC youth has capacity, capability, and encouragement, and also excitement, and as well as passion to create something unique, like what they are doing. It is our duty, all of us duty, to push to establish this ecosystem in all our countries. If we have, if we don't have an incubation center, we have to push government officials to establish a incubation center, or universities to establish an incubating center. If there is no funds, entrepreneurship funds established in our countries, we have to push investors or business individuals to create entrepreneurship funds for the startups. If we have, if you don't have a platform for training, distance platform or physical platforms for training of the entrepreneurs and startups, we have to push our government officials or in the, universities or whoever is concerned on these regards to create something for our own development. We have to create our own ecosystem, not country by country. It should be, of course, should start with country by country, but we should be having our own ecosystem as a OIC geography as a whole, uh, to support one to another to succeed. By this means, we can close the gap between developed nations and our nations' economical differences. Uh, there, where Turkey is doing right now, they are investing on the major some sectors, and now Turkey becoming one of the top three in the globe on those sectors. This can be achieved by one individuals, like in drone technology. It was achieved by the one individual's belief. Mr. Selçuk has believed that this drone technology can lead Turkey into some other stage. He himself alone believed in the early 90s. Then he convinced army officials and government officials to believe in himself. They have believed in himself, and they have supported him and his uh, drone technology. And now Turkey becoming is the world game changer with the drone technology in Libya, in Azerbaijan, in Iraq, and in Syria, and such many other countries. That's why you are more than what you are, brothers. And believe yourself, and be firm and passionate on what you are doing. I'm sure you will do the fortune for your nation, for your family, for your beloved ones. That is my humble words after Mr. Yousef. Before the questions, I would like to give some time for audience to raise their question. I would like to take questions now, if there is any. There is one question, Mr. Yousef. Can you mention how did you deal with the effects of the COVID-19 on your business? Also, what can be the solution to deal with the disadvantages of COVID-19 on seed stage startups, as they don't have enough money, enough fund? It is harder for early stage startup to survive in this condition. What can you advise for those startups during this COVID era?
Thank you for the question. Actually, like as Torever, as I mentioned, from the beginning of COVID crisis, actually, or like period, we just decided to stop the activity of Torever. This is what happened for Torever. I'm like sad to say that, but this is the truth that need to be told. I know a lot of other friends. My advisor, one of our advisors themselves, they work for other like very global and big tourism companies. So first of all, like before I answer this question, like if we want to speak in general about seed startups, this may be different from one startup to another, because like it's different from sector to another. If we look at the sectors of the like medicals or like biotechnologies, and other like sectors like in general technologies like in remote education and other like in specific sectors, it was like it was a huge advantage for them, this like this period, right? So we cannot speak in general about like what can seed startups do in COVID. But if we are talking about startups that are affected, like if we are talking about a tourism industry mainly, actually, if we are talking about like physical facilities, if we are talking about like so many other businesses that are affected in this period, um, uh, actually the most thing that I saw companies and startups doing is, um, just manipulating their own products and services to fit the current situation. So, for example, if we are talking about Airbnb, if we are talking about with locals, if we are talking about like other different tourism companies, they started to provide remote experiences. So you can buy these experiences and participate from your own home, right? So you can learn about other cultures. You can participate in this like other cultures. You can, for example, learn how to cook like a different kitchens plates while you are at home. So this is some experiences that wasn't available. This like remote tourism experiences. This wasn't even something that people do before COVID, but these companies started with doing these things because they need to start and to find another revenue stream for them to stay on their own feet. Other companies, like for example, education companies, started to provide online education, right? There is so many technological companies, for example, like technology companies started to provide, like this, like VR, AR solutions, so they can, like assist this like remote lifestyle. Yeah, so it depends actually on the industry, but in general, you can say that you need to manipulate yourself and your products to to keep with the current situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yousef. Mr. Rashid, what is your advices? This is our last session, and what you can advise to our startups? We would like to have a few words from your end also. Mr. Rashid from Malaysia, and he's representing GoCoach. He was one of our startups, successful startups.
Hi, Assalamualaikum, and very good day to all. My name is Rashid. So thank you again for inviting me. So I think I don't have so many advice to you guys. I think the same thing from Mr. Yousef about what he told us about being. I mean, what I can get from the presentation basically to create a demand. I mean, that's a very good thing. Create demand during the pandemic is something that we call is challenging, but I believe that everybody have their own dreams. Please believe in your dreams and don't give up. And I think what we can use basically our relationship between our members like OIC, ICYF, and so on. Utilize all the relationship and get knowledge as much as we can. And I believe that don't give up and if we give up, I think we actually just throw away our dreams and effort like 4 or 5 years before. So use, reuse, design and redesign your activity. And for me, I believe in 3-3-4 concept, where basically we have a 10 years plan for our business. So every 3 years we have to relook the milestone, and another 3 years we have to relook again, and another 4 years we have to revise or relook our planning. So every startup, you need to have like short term and also long term planning. Yeah, although we do have like this external factor like pandemic, financial crisis, and so on. So believe me, I think if you believe in your journey, I think we'll be there one day. So don't give up in anything that you do. That's all. Thank you.
We are waiting for the question from the audience. This will be a last chance for you. Please place your questions if you have any to Mr. Yousef. And
maybe I have
please.
question to Mr. Yousef. Is it possible?
Sure, why not?
Right. So I'm impressed with your.
Don't make it hard.
No, it's I kind of like I said before. I inspired by your presentations because you have diverse in your team members. So basically, how actually you can not monitor but work together with a diverse background from other country as well. So basically, how actually you look at them, and I mean from you recruitment side, I mean from and take them in your as a part of your team, and then work with them, and then how actually you manage this like diversified background from other countries as well. So I think it's quite tough for me. So I need to learn from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the question. Actually, like, as I mentioned, I was lucky with the team. You know, like a lot of people just advise you to, you know, like when you are recruiting, do not create your mini team, right? Do not just create a team that they are all copies of yourself, because like you want to recruit some people that are, let's say, best or like better than you in their own sector, right? So if you are just recruiting people that they are just the same as you, then what's the advantage? You want to create people who are different than you, because you want to have this, you know, like so different kind of background, so different kind of views for the same thing. And from this diversity, actually, you came with better ideas for your product and for your customers. And then they also help you with marketing, right? Because like you are having, you know, ambassador in every different country that you have your employee in. So this is also like one advantage for you. Like in management, actually, we have been using one platform where I was, you know, like coordinating, let's say, this project among us. So creating these like tasks and the plan, and then like just communicate it with them. Tell them like what we are doing, why we are doing it. This is very important. And then like they say the best way to make people do things is to make them believe that this is the thing that they want to do, right? If once they believe that this is okay, this is a good thing, then you don't have to monitor them. Again, I was lucky. Like you may face like bad people, but I was lucky on that. Like all the people that I worked with, they were generally very, very responsive and responsible people. Yeah, so basically we had this like technically, let's say we had this like one platform where we put our milestones and our code, let's say our files, and then we manage it from there, and we can revision like what people do what. And yeah, and dedication is also like very hard thing, but it's something that you need to do. At some point you need to tell people that you work with, you can take the decision on something, right?
All right, thank you very much. We have also Minhaz here, one of our startups also. We would like to have some word from him also to give an advice to our startups. What could be the advice which you can give them?
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Sodar. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to talk here once again, and it's lovely to see Yousef once again. And it was a very wonderful presentation. I hope you are doing well in your personal life as well. So nice to meet you. And I see Rashid here, my old buddy here as well. So hello, Rashid. So yeah, so the session was really interesting, and we really enjoyed it. And like the thing about Yousef's startup, the thing I like most is his tagline. Like you hop into his website, and when you see that one-liner tagline, I mean, that kills you right there. So yeah, so thanks for having us here, of course, to ICYF, Mr. Sadar, and everyone involved. It was lovely seeing the old faces here. I mean, we used to have, our old conversation groups in WhatsApp from our previous events in 2019. And we are always talking about like this pandemic, everybody was struggling. And so this initiative, this series of initiatives that you have taken from your organization, I think is really helpful for people out there who have participated in this series of conversation. And I think they have gained a lot from the speakers from different countries and who are making impacts. So regarding any advice, I think I'll just repeat whatever I said in my session. So I think personally, when you are working on something, for example, it can be some mission that you are working. It can be some startup that you are building. It can be some girl or boy that you are chasing. It can be anything. But you have to be absolutely honest. You have to be honest to yourself first, that I really want this thing. You have to say to yourself, I really want this thing, and I am willing to do whatever it takes for me to get here. So if you believe that, then you will find a way. And always try to do a reality check. So you have to dream really high. At the same time, you have to keep reality in check. Keep your finances in check. That is the most important part, of course. After human resources, of course, HR is really important. The people you are working with, the people you are partnering up with, the people who are serving. So they are really important. How you are taking care of them is really important. So that's one thing that's common for any startup, because it will involve some people, right? So be it your client, be it your partners or investors. So that's really important. Your finances, you have to keep them in check, and you have to be practical about it. And you have to dream like crazy. So combination of all things, if you are honest enough, I think inshallah you have a very good chance of being successful. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed in life. But what you can do is basically do your best, give it your best shot, so that someday you don't look into the mirror and you don't blame yourself. That is the worst feeling to have. So I don't want any of you, nobody should have that feeling. You should give 100% to the life that you have been awarded to. So best of luck to all of you. In some distant future, some probably like 10, 20 years later, probably in some session, I would love to attend one of your sessions and see that you are one of the participants in ICYF's, one of the events that we are participants. That would really mean something to our little lives. Thank you so much, and keep this up, and hope to meet you soon, inshallah, when the whole world is vaccinated. Allah Hafiz from Fahmi.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thank you very much, Minhaz. Very, how to say, inspiring advices, and very, how to say, passionate, as always, you are. There was one question which I have seen just now from Jordan, and I think he dropped. If he comes back, or let me check. The question owner, yeah, I think it dropped. His line is dropped. If he comes back, I will give a floor to him. Mr. Rashid, Sarah Mahusi from Sri Lanka has a question. Please, Sarah.
Yeah, first of all, Assalamu alaikum to all of you, and thank you so much. This session has been really inspiring and motivating, and we have different speakers today, and the words from Mr. Yousef, and obviously Mr. Sami, Mr. Rashid, and the one who spoke at the end. It was very inspiring and especially and insightful, and really, it's really thought-provoking. So yeah, thank you for arranging this session. And my question is like, you know, to Mr. Yousef, that is, you know that you said you have currently stopped your project and, you know, you're re-evaluating about the project thing, right? So how do you actually keep your team motivated? Like having a very sound, as you said, like having the best team, it is, it's kind of a luck. Like not everybody is best of with the best team in our startup. So how do you actually keep your team motivated in this type of a crisis situation? Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you for the question. Actually, you know, like, I hope that they are motivated, and I hope they are, you know, like safe and sound in the places where they are at the moment. And I want also, like, again, to send my thanks and greetings to all of them and their families. The thing is, like, you know, like in this world, like not everything should be, you know, like in 1 + 1 = 2. Not everything is should have this like typical. You know, like we talk about typical, right? Like typical person or like standard person, the standard startup, and every this kind of things and stories in this world. But who said that this is the typical, right? And who said that you should be this way to be successful? As Mr. just said right now, like if you believe in this, if you at the end of the day can look in the mirror and say, okay, I did my best, then it's okay. So how I'm treating with my team, or like my story also, like in my startup, I was working on my startup, and at the same time I was having a full day job, right? Part of the people that I'm working on, or like actually most of them, they were also like studying or working or doing other kind of stuff, right? We always like hear about this kind of like 4 hours management, for example, like, or like 4 hours do whatever you are doing in this life in 4 hours. So this like kind of, you know, like sometimes if maybe you have this like water which is just dropping, right? It just drops, and you say that there is nothing that can happen from this water. But then you look at the end of the day, and it just filled the let's say the bottom, right? If you put the bottom underneath. So don't misestimate these small efforts and these small increments that you can do to your own project. Why I wanted to share this, because like I was working on this project as a part-time. Part of my, like most of my team were working on like a contract base and part-time, and they were aware that we are working on this like very risky situation. And at the moment, what I do is we keep in communicating with all of them, and we have very friendly and very like good relation with all of them. So this is actually what we are doing. Yeah, and I actually like sometimes, you know, like even the time we were working, sometimes like if I know some friend that looking for something for someone that do some task for him, for example, sometimes I suggest one of the people I work with, right? Because like, you know, like I always think about, you know, like this as a networks connections. The more that you have it like meshed together, the more that it will be fruitful and benefitful for all the people, for yourself and the people around you. I'm sorry, I don't think that I really like clearly answered your question, but excuse me.
Thank you. At the end of the day, I gained something, so that's beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Yousef. Is there any question do you have? And Mr. Rashid, you were raising your hand. You want to say something?
No, actually, I'm just clapping.
All right.
Just clapping.
All right. Then I will just give some announcement to all of you. As a YBH, now we are in preparation ourselves to open our own incubation center in Istanbul, inshallah. Innovative pre-seed and seed level incubation center for the international startups here in World Trade Center, together with the Bilişim IT Valley and Investment Office of Turkey, with their support. Inshallah, we will be our own training center for all of you in the near future. As well as we are also working on developing a startup crowdfunding platform to resolve the funding issues of the startup, whoever giving the success for in their journey. We will resolve funding issue with the crowdfunding platform, inshallah. We will be having within a few months that crowdfunding platform also will be active working for you, inshallah. As well as we are also, as Mr. Rashid and Mr. Minhaz mentioned, we are also in the stage of development of ICYF network, 3-module system we are developing. One is the ICYF network, which will keep all of you interactive among yourself as an alumni of our programs, as well as the ICYF business network to keep the business network to be interactive with the startups as well as among themselves, as well as our member networks, which we would like to keep all our interactive, whoever we interact with, we'll be keeping them with us, and we will be making an interaction among themselves. As well as we have established a learning management system for the distance learning for your training. Now platform is ready, but now we are developing a content. Through distance learning, we will be, inshallah, providing a training on vocational education for the skill development for those, non-developed countries. As well as we will be having a startup training contents there, like for the vocational education. We are now developing with Miss Hazel how to develop this freeze-dry technology as a entrepreneur. How to utilize the freeze-dry technology and how to do this food tech system. That will be one, and there will be another one, mushroom cultivation. We'll be creating a content also. More content for the vocational education will be coming. For those who has less capital, but more skill, they will have, through that training, they will have their skill development to create something for himself or herself, or for her family, or for her society there. This is one. Another one for the startups. Wherever you are, you can, if you are enrolled with our programs, you can be trained through distance learning, through our LMS, through our learning management system. Those who are participating in our distance learning programs, which we will be offering, those who are successful, we will be, inshallah, calling them up to Turkey here in our center to train them further, to bring them up to the post-incubation or incubation centers here, to place them in Turkey incubation centers for their startups to grow further. These as well as another one also application management system. We are having another system, as I mentioned, 3. We will manage your application through our system, and we will also manage your interaction with your mentors and coaches, and we will monitor your development through that system as well. As what I am saying is, we are developing comprehensive system as well as the comprehensive tools to train you to reach to some level, and to create the potential what you have in yourself, inshallah. That is the announcement which I can say from ICYF YBH department. Inshallah, we will be seeing you in our future programs, in our future activities. We will be coming to Bangladesh. Bangladesh, Dhaka is the OIC youth capital last year and this year. Inshallah, we'll be conducting 10 days training sessions there together with the Bangladeshi officials, with our partners there. We'll be also joining together with Mr. President, Afghanistan government officials, how to build up a entrepreneurship system in Afghanistan. We will give our ideas and our how to say suggestions, inshallah. As well as we will be having an investment summit in Uzbekistan as well as the Azerbaijan in this autumn, around September, October. There also we will have some competitions for the startups. Whoever shows their how to say potential, we will invite them to those investment summit to show their startup to the investors there and bring them up to the stage. We will have a lot of programs, and we will have a lot of initiatives for the economic empowerment of yourself, the youth of OIC Geography. All Muslim youth we would like to serve, inshallah. Keep it up and follow us in our social media accounts and from our websites. Inshallah, we hope to see you in the future in some other programs. If any words anyone want to say, this is a closing session. I will give 5 of you to give some words, general wordings, please. If anyone. Okay. Silent. Yeah. Mahnur is here, and Yahya is afterwards. Mahnur, stage is yours.
Thank you so much for giving me a floor. First of all, Assalamu alaikum to everyone. I would really thankful to OIC, ICYF for arranging such an insightful session for us. I really learned a lot. Before this, I already participated in some programs, and I hope ICYF keep creating such kind of platforms for us. And inshallah, we'll see in some platforms in Turkey.
Inshallah. We hope to see you as well. Yahya, unmute yourself. Stage is yours. Yahya, we can't hear you. Please unmute.
Hello.
Yes. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. There is an echo. There is an echo which we can't hear you well. Can you just resolve the echo sound, and I will come back to you? Ahmed, please, it's yours. Stage is yours, Ahmed. Unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity, and it's a great one. I want to thank ICYF and also the organizing team and all participants. It's been a great journey, and I would like to make it a point that we keep our networking strong at the back end. That is WhatsApp platform and emailing, so that whichever opportunity which comes our way, we take the maximum out of it. I believe that would be very good for all of us. Once again, I would like to thank our fellow speakers who gave their inspiring stories, and I believe we've learned a lot to fuel our journey in the life of our entrepreneurship life. So it's a great thank you, and I hope we meet very soon. And may God give us solution to this pandemic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. Yahya, try again.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Now it is clear.
Okay. Once again, thank you so much, the organizers of this important session, and my congratulatory message will go to all the participants from start to end, and all the facilitators from the start to end, and also to the main body who organized this event. And I'm praying to Allah for Allah to help to give us long life, and for us to meet again in Istanbul or in anywhere in the world. And thanks to the organizers. We wish you all the best, and keep on organizing such events, because during this event I learned a lot, and it motivates me, it pushes me, it boosts my moral from step one to another higher level. So I'm hoping many will come ahead. Thank you so much, the organizers.
Thank you, Yahya. I would like to thank on behalf of you to all our session moderators and technical team behind these sessions, Mr. Suleiman, our interns, Mr. Kamal, Mr. Muhammad, Betul especially, and also the media team, as well as the moderators from project department and from foreign affairs department. And also, I would like to thank our startups who are coming here and sparing their time and sharing their knowledge and their journey with you and with us. And I'm very thankful to them. Inshallah, we hope to see some other startup among yourself in the near future. Keep yourself, be healthy, be safe, and give our salam, warm salam from Istanbul to all of your family and beloved ones. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for being here with us. We really appreciate. Thank you. Thank you very much.